What I want to know is where's the caveman?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic the Hedgehog replay podcast for fans of all shapes and sizes. As usual, I'm your host, Devin, joined by my comrades Lauren and Bruce. And guys, we are nearing the end of video games for this season. Mr. John Video Games, CEO of video games, has come out and said they're not going to make another video game until Season 2 of video games in 2025.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, I guess we'll have to do other stuff.
Or just play any of the 700,000 million games that are already there.
No, if it's not a new game, I don't want to play it.
Not worth it.
Can you actually imagine that? Like, if game companies just stopped making... Like, any media just stopped making new stuff for a while? It would make people go out of their comfort zone so much.
Trying to think of a media that actually did that, and I can't think of anything.
I guess spaghetti westerns died.
Yeah, but westerns, but that's still part of movies.
Yeah.
I can't really think of books or movies or music that have just stopped being produced.
Well, because people wouldn't do that voluntarily. You'd have to force them,
Right.
even then you wouldn't.
There'd be a
able to get all of it.
reason.
Well, what I actually meant by that, of course, is that we are nearing the end of our run on the classic Sonic games. Today is our last episode that had any enjoyment to it. This is our Sega Saturn episode. We were talking about the initial jump into 3D for the Blue Hedgehog.
Oh boy.
So, our first game to try that, I call this the Saturn episode, but our first game was released on a couple different consoles. We're talking about Sonic 3D Blast.
Not much 3D, really, actually.
It's 3D in quotation marks.
It is a game with pre-rendered Donkey Kong Country 3D graphics, and it is a game with an isometric perspective, so that was what counted for 3D in 1996.
No, I was gonna say it's more 3D than what the SNES offered, but no, the SNES had Star Fox.
Yeah, this game, so this released for the Genesis in, I think it was 96, so that sounds correct.
Sounds right.
And we would have an actual 3D Sonic game to cover here, because throughout the late 90s, they were developing a Sonic game for the Saturn. They were developing Sonic X-Treme. I can't say Extreme, because that's not how it's written. It's X-Treme.
Well, Sonic Extreme is also another canceled game for the Xbox, I think.
Yes, there's two different Sonic Extremes that got canceled. We're talking about the 90s one that was this weird... it was a full 3D platformer, but it was this weird sort of sphere-walking fisheye game. I think we might do an episode on canceled Sonic games in the future. I actually had a viewer ask us about that.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't see why not.
But what actually happened is that development hell was so bad on that game that everybody got sick and basically couldn't work on it, and the whole thing
Did it
got
actually
canned.
kill someone as well?
I don't think anybody actually died.
Okay, that might just be a myth then.
I'll have to look it up if I'll edit in the video if it turns out to be wrong. But when that game got canceled, Sega was like, alright, well, we have to compensate the fans with something. And so they also put out a Saturn port of 3D Blast. And so this is the first case of just a Sonic game being re-released with just little upgrades.
Yeah, more than little upgrades. I mean, the soundtrack is either completely or almost completely different.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is completely different, and the visuals are... Actually, I like the new visuals. But, yeah, so this game, the story is that Flicky Island, home of the Flickies, which apparently are different Flickies than the ones we've been saving in every game up to this point. I don't know. Eggman is attacking Flicky Island, Sonic has to go save the birds, and that's the whole thing.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, I knew that because the game actually tells you the story in-game with a bit of animated stills and text for some reason.
Some beautiful animated stills on the Genesis version, I'd like to point out. They are horribly compressed.
They are... I was wondering if you were being sarcastic, but yes, this game has some wonderful, crunchy-looking 3D animation. It's like, it's easy to make fun of, but there's a YouTube channel called Game Hut, where basically the lead programmer of this game, I'm trying to remember his name, I'll put it on screen, he talks about some of the technical shortcuts that Traveler's Tales took for all their games, not just Sonic 3D Blast. And so even getting that crunchy, like, you know, low color screen to play
Yeah.
on the Genesis was a technical achievement.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm not trying to say it's not impressive, but I'm saying it still looks like shit.
Oh, it absolutely does.
I'm not going to try and deny that.
As for the rest of the game, most of this game's gameplay is you walking around big maze-like stages, finding flickies, and putting them in rings until it takes you to the next round to find.
Yeah?
Yeah, not really a fan of that. I mean, I knew this game existed. I'd seen what it looked like. I maybe had played all of a few seconds of it at one point in like one of the collections or something. I didn't realize that it's not like isometric Sonic. No, you're not trying to complete the zone, except the very, very final act. You have to collect the flickies, and that's so annoying because some of them, it's the case of where's that darned last flicky.
Yeah, so it's a maze, and you have to kill every single enemy in the stage to get all 5 flickies for each section. And they have some wonderful mechanics. Sonic's control in this game is not great. I'm not going to call it the worst thing.
Every stage felt like a nice stage on the Genesis version.
It's pretty slippery, and the control is the same between all versions of the game. But what we're not mentioning is that Bruce and I also played the PC version just for kicks, basically. We played through the Sonic 3D Director's Cut that was made by that same lead programmer. He put out a little patch that you can do to the Steam version of the game, or just any ROM, but, he tells you to buy the Steam version. And that, it changes Sonic's controls to be, he has a little bit slower acceleration, and it makes a couple of quality of life improvements for the game, and you can see just how much they really thought that would help.
Wait, the controls are better?
Yes, they are looser on the original Genesis version and on the Saturn and PC versions.
I'm sorry, I cannot imagine that.
Yeah.
The controls already felt insanely loose on the director's cut.
Well, this was the thing.
I don't know, but I never had any problem with the controls for some reason.
They were not extremely bad from my perspective, but it was very funny listening to Bruce, occasionally, put out a thought on the Discord server or whatever about how tough he's finding the director's cut version of this game, where it's like, you don't know how fucking good you have it, Bruce. Listen,
I am somewhat aware of that.
Listen, I played the original version of this, and not only, there are so many concessions made in the director's cut version of this game. This is a weird place to start, but the fact that you only lose one flicky at a time when you get hit, that is enormous. You lose all of them in the other versions, and they scatter all over the place, and they don't go toward you.
I must have encountered some bug in the director's version then, because I had multiple points where I lost all my flickies after getting hit.
Never happened to me.
Alright, well, maybe...
I don't know.
Maybe there's a gas leak in here, I don't know.
We all played different versions somehow, even though we all thought we played the director's cut version. It's the only explanation.
Oh my god.
Listen, no matter how good you make this game, there's still problems with it.
I never said the game was good. I just didn't say it was horrible. My overall impression was, eh.
Yeah, I don't hate this game. It's alright in some cases. It's mostly that it becomes tedious to search each level for, they usually have 3 sections, so that's 15 birds that you have to ferry around from one place to another. And there's not a lot of variety in it, is what it is.
It's funny that you guys both agree that it's not bad, because I absolutely hated playing most of this game.
Well, I mean, I should put a disclaimer, which is that for a while now, I've literally been save stating like mad in every game I play.
So was I.
Oh, well,
my save states didn't work on the Genesis version. I don't know why.
No, I was save stating basically after every flicky, and at pretty much any point I felt like, you know what, I need this, so...
Okay, well that still makes me the best, because I played the PC and a little bit of the Saturn versions, and I don't know how to save state on a Saturn emulator, and I can't save state on the PC version. So, I am your god, kneel before me.
Well, it's funny, so
okay,
this game
I'll give you a medal that I never wanted anyway.
Awesome.
So this game was so frustrating to me that I actually didn't finish it.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Got to the boss fight in the lava zone, got stuck. I could not get past like the second or third hit.
I do hate that thing.
Funny because
Frustrated.
That's funny because I found that like the easiest boss in the game.
God
I
damn
just
it.
hit him over and over and over, and he couldn't even do anything. I
God
just hit him
damn
over and
it.
over, and then he died. It was easy, first try.
God damn it.
You guys were skeptical when I said that there was going to be disagreements and arguments with this game.
I mean, kind of. I was only skeptical because my impression was whatever, not a problem. But I guess that still contrasts with it was horrible.
Yeah, it's...
So I might be kind of over. I don't know if overplaying is the right
I'm
word.
not trying to downplay. I'm not trying to say that your feelings are invalid. I'm just laughing.
I'm just like, so did I really have that bad of an experience, or was that specific boss so annoying for me that it just soured the rest of the experience for me? And I don't think that's the case. I think I legitimately just had a really bad experience with this game.
I didn't have a great experience. I still don't like this game particularly.
The music slaps, so that's nice. That's the only positive thing I can say about it.
Oh, the music. So this soundtrack was just like nostalgia after nostalgia, despite the fact I've not heard most of this soundtrack. Because, so the opening music, and then I don't remember where else it's used. It's like Twinkle Park in Sonic Adventure.
Panic Puppet, yeah.
Panic Puppet, okay. And then there's the fact that a lot of the music is used in Sonic Chronicles.
Sonic Chronicles mines both of the versions of this game for tracks.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so that's funny. So we'll get to Sonic Chronicles when we get to Sonic Chronicles. But I never had a problem with the music in Sonic Chronicles because I hadn't heard the original version. So this soundtrack has an inverse effect of what Chronicles has on people. I'm sure most people like my ears are bleeding because it's like a worse version. But for me, it's like these are godly versions of the music from my childhood. It's incredible, man.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
This game, the Genesis version had Tatsuyuki Maeda in the lead, doing the most tracks, I think. And then this is also sort of where Jun Sonoe started taking more of an active role in the making of Sonic soundtracks, and throughout the 3D games, we're going to see a lot more of him. While the Saturn and PC version was done by Richard Jacques, and his soundtrack is completely different, of course, but it's also great. It's got
I
a
meant
nice...
to listen to the Saturn soundtrack, and I completely forgot to.
I recommend you do. It's got a nice, sort of light, kind of new age feel to it. I don't know.
Interesting, okay.
And it all revolves around a singular leitmotif, which is, I think, the first time we've seen something like that in a Sonic game. It's like, you talk about Super Mario World, that does it all the time. But this one is actually very funny because the main theme of this game, the credits theme, is called You're My Hero, and it has, lyrics about how, oh, you came to rescue me, or whatever. And it's a perfectly fine, like, R&B song or whatever. Actually, R&B describes the whole soundtrack pretty well, I think. But it's very funny because it's, sung by a woman with a pretty sultry tone, and it's about being saved from crisis by Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever. But here's the thing. The only people you save in this game are birds. Is this song sung from the perspective of a flock of birds?
I mean...
Yes. Or perhaps there were changes in... Well, I don't know the order things came out in, so I have no idea.
The Saturn version came out later because it was compensation for scrapping Extreme.
Right. I don't know. I guess it's sung by birds.
Those birds are good singers, then.
Yeah.
As for the stages themselves, which we've not talked about at all, we talked about this game out of order.
Yeah.
Green Grove is your typical tropical island. I hate the Caterpillars.
Not to be confused with Green Hill. So many not Green Hills in these games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it funny. I don't know what those enemies are. There's some enemies that they literally just sit there and do nothing. And I'm like, what is your purpose? And then later there are ones with like spike walls spinning around them. And like, you're trying a little harder, I see, but still not.
Oh, you're
very
talking
good.
about the purple coiled things that look like a pile of poop?
Yeah, it's the icon for the enemies when you're hunting for them throughout the whole game, I think.
Is that what that icon is? I could never tell.
Pretty sure.
Oh.
Alright, well, that's good to know. I found myself rolling into enemies more than jumping, which is probably why I was annoyed by the Caterpillars in this level, is because you kind of have to jump to kill them.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, rolling is the way to go because, well, there's no depth perception in this game. So if I jump, I have no idea where I'm going to go.
The exception being, there is the yellow shield in this game, the attraction shield, which, for the first time in the series, gives Sonic a homing attack.
I never used that because I didn't.
I never got that.
Wow. Well, yeah, that would be useful if you guys had picked it up, because if you press the jump button with that, you home in on enemies, and it works pretty well.
No,
Damn.
I got it. I just didn't know that was what it did. Because
Yeah, I don't
barely
think I
jumped in this game. Like, well, I mean, I platform, but not to attack enemies.
Interesting.
Speaking of platforming, Rusty Ruin. I love the sound and I love the visuals, but I don't like the level design here.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah, this is when there was actual platforming.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty painful. The boss even had platforming.
Yes, it did, and it also has you
Wait.
twirling
Oh, yeah.
these they're like fan blades that make Sonic do a ballerina spin, and he has to bust through stuff with that. I don't know the logistics of that, but it makes him even slipperier.
That was honestly kind of funny. I liked bouncing around with that.
It would be fun if you didn't have to be precise at other points.
I don't know that you had to be too precise with that one, but maybe there were certain parts. I don't know. It's funny that this game changed the way I looked at enemies, because normally they're an annoyance, but most of the enemies in this game aren't very threatening. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
finally. And they're just flickies in a box,
Yeah,
basically.
this
Which
is
later
one
they
Sonic
are
game where
flickies
you
in a
are
box.
you get relieved to see a badnik. The only note that I have on Spring Stadium is Spring Stadium, more like Spike Stadium.
Okay, I literally have no idea how I'd be able to do this stage without save states. You're in one of those giant pits of spikes, you fall down with a flicky. How are you ever going to get it again? How are you ever going to get them all back if you apparently lose all of them in another version of the game?
In my experience, the answer is to get really frustrated and then just mash the jump button. Because the spikes, they have a delay before they come out of the ground and hit you, but it's short enough that it is annoying to try and get a flicky on there, especially the ones that bounce.
There are ones that don't bounce? I thought they all bounced.
No, the blue ones, those just they move. They don't really bounce, I don't think.
The flickies have differences? I never knew that.
Oh yeah, they have different behaviors. The blue ones usually go toward you or just sort of go around in a small circle. The green ones move around randomly. The red and purple ones bounce, I think.
Well, that's kind of fun. And by fun, I mean really annoying.
Yeah, I think there's even different colors on different versions of the game. Like, I think the Saturn version has a color that the Genesis doesn't or something.
My God, that's...
So this doesn't pertain to a particular stage, but I remember I was running around and then Knuckles. And then I was running around and then Tails.
Yeah,
And
that
like,
happened to
"Hey,
me also.
I will take your rings. Thanks for the
Yes.
rings." And I'm like, no thanks, bye.
Knuckles and Tails are your special stage entrances in this game, and I didn't bother.
Same.
I got in one of the special stages by accident, and I have to say, these are like the most lifeless special stages I've ever seen. The rings are static. Everything is static. You're just running into the background, static
you see-
background, and it's just dull, and it's like, it's a prototype. That's what it looks like.
You see, though, they've got a pseudo 3D bridge that you're walking on, and that's what's most important.
You had the same perspective in Sonic 2 and it looked fine. So you're not really doing anything that much more impressive.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting. The special stages are one thing that changes in every version of the game. Like, the PC version is mostly the same as the Saturn version, but the Saturn version, for its special stages, does a full 3D recreation of the half-pipe, which I still hate, but it looks nice. And then the PC version, like, downgrades that, so it's still a 3D half-pipe, but you just have the regular behind Sonic sprite, which is very, like, chunky to look at.
Interesting. But yeah, we'll get to the Chaos Emeralds when we get to the end, but yeah, I didn't bother with them. I just accidentally went in one once when I had enough rings. I didn't even know what Knuckles and Tails were doing. I thought it was just for the Knuckles bonus and Tails bonus. I didn't know it was special stage until one time by accident.
You want to be like, well, you could have made them playable, but it's like, how the hell would you make them playable in a game like this?
Not a whole lot of verticality. You'd have to design the levels differently.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, and it's
Tails
like-
could just be the friends of the flickies and they just come to him easier, and then he's easy mode like usual.
You are correct, there's not a lot of verticality, but it's also kind of a blessing in disguise, because we've seen what happens when this game has you do platforming.
No, I'm just saying it would make Knuckles and Tails pointless.
Yeah, exactly.
most
Exactly. Diamond Dust. I love the music.
Okay, Diamond Dust. Well, okay, both versions are reused in Chronicles, so of course I like both versions. and it's also a winter level, and I always love those winter levels. I will say, even though like the character sprites look a little awkward, the backgrounds look pretty nice in this game.
I do
Yeah.
like the environments. They've got a nice, like, sort of diorama feel to them.
I think you just put my thoughts into words.
Cool.
Another thing about Diamond Dust is this introduces the first badniks that don't have flickies in them for some reason. And then there are also some of the snowman badniks that do have flickies in them. They come out frozen, which is kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this level, it's like, again, it's, nice presentation. I think I got a bug on one of these stages where one of the flickies despawned, so I just had to kill
Ooh.
Sonic
No.
to find it.
Oh God, that's.
I think it happened on one of those moving snow flows in the level. I hate those things.
Yeah, those are a little annoying to navigate, I must admit.
Just because Sonic's acceleration is not enough in the air that he can really make significant progress on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the rings also, this is something that you can notice a lot in boss fights, is that you can see the rings, fly out of you when you get hit, but the way they bounce around does not make it easy to pick them up, and they disappear fast.
Yes.
They disappear after like one bounce. It's absurd.
I think that was the problem I was having with the lava boss.
Well, and Volcano Valley is even worse, because in both the boss and the levels, if your rings go in the lava eats them.
Oh, that's how that works.
Ah.
Yeah, that is an intentional mechanic in this level, and I don't know
That's
why you would ever do
stupid.
that. No,
That
this
is
is the
really
drop all your shit level because you keep walking on lava, so you make the lava eat your... Don't! No!
They were
That-
early into Minecraft. It lava burns items.
I'd rather play Minecraft.
When I got to Volcano Valley, I was like, oh, you know what? A fire shield would be really useful here. And I was actually really pleased that Act 2 has a fire shield, and it made
Yes.
it really easy.
That
Mm,
was not. That
good.
was kind of cool.
I'm like sighing in dismay because I did get it, and then I lost it almost immediately.
I did. Yeah, what I did was I got it, save stated, and then save stated after every flicky just to make sure I didn't accidentally lose it.
Yeah, that's what I did too. Also, I forgot to mention, but regarding shields, it's a really cute touch that all the flickies that follow you also get shields.
I liked that. That was pretty
Well, and
cool.
that's not just a visual thing, that's also a gameplay thing, is that if your flickies get clipped by stuff as you're running around, they can get detached from you without you even taking damage. And that might be what Bruce experienced.
Yeah, so part of me did kind of like that, and the other part of me thought that's really stupid.
Stupid, but also I'm pretty sure that never happened to me. It's weird.
Well, again, this is a nice thing about the director's cut. That version makes it so that you can never lose more than one at a time, but in the PC and Saturn version, if you get hit on the one that's closest to you, all 5 of them are going bye-bye. Which is terrible on the lava stage, because
Ooh, yeah.
the Spring Stadium spike floors, those at least have a delay before they come up. But if your flicky is on the lava in the fire stage, there's almost no chance that you're getting it back without taking damage.
Ooh, that hurt me. That hurt my soul, because I had multiple points where I had to like reload a save state or reload this level or whatever because the flickies would not leave the goddamn lava.
It's an extremely minor thing, but I must give this game one thing. There's spin dash powered platforms in this stage, and you spin dash and it moves them upward. And then I'm like, I wouldn't do this on purpose, but I'm like, wait a second. What if I let it come down on top of me? Is it going to crush me and insta-kill me? No, it just makes you get hurt normally. And I'm like, good. Finally a Sonic game that doesn't insta-kill you with crushing.
I guess that's just a trait that the 3D games have, because I don't think you get insta-killed from crushing in any 3D game.
Oh, yeah, maybe you're right. I hadn't thought of that.
So that's one 3D Sonic trend that started. But yeah, it's interesting that, like, Lauren had an easy experience with the Volcano Valley boss. Bruce had a awful experience with it. I had a mix between the two, where I started it and immediately lost 2 lives to it, just gone. And I was like, oh god, is this going to give me a game over? I don't know what happens if I get a game over on this version without save states. And then on my 3rd life, I beat the boss without even getting hit, like Lauren said. I just stood on the pipe and hit it until it died. And it's like,
Exactly.
what is this difficulty? I love the boss themes in this game. The second one in particular is very intimidating.
Well, again, the music just it slaps. It's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that this game's music deserved better than this game even.
Honestly, yeah.
Not an uncommon thing in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, but yes.
Yeah, but even some of the bad Sonic games don't have the kind of this game has a mix of frustration and tedium, whereas some Sonic games it's just one or the other.
I suppose so.
Yeah, I guess.
Alrighty, Gene the Gadget
What
is
kind of
one of the
name is
weirder
that?
names.
I didn't play this stage.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, see ya
All right, well,
next.
Bruce shuts up for the rest of the episode. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm always a sucker for artificial metal areas in Sonic games. It gives the vibe of now we're getting into the end game sort of a thing.
Mm.
Not that I was really getting pumped because this game isn't really that interesting, but I like the look to it. And it's interesting that the blue shield is like it protects you from lightning, but doesn't have ring magnetism in this game.
Yeah, my notes here is that Act 1 is annoying and full of fans and tubes, but it's much more linear and I don't care. And then my note for Act 2 is Act 2 fucking sucks with a big stupid slope you can't go up.
Oh yeah. Well, at this point in the game, I actually don't have a lot of notes for this zone. I was kind of accustomed to hunting for stuff. So yeah, it was a big hunt, but I was used to it at this point.
What is the boss of this stage? Is this the conveyor belt one?
This was my least favorite boss. This one was so annoying. Running against the conveyor belt, it's very hard to do. And there's like little spikes on the conveyor belt.
It's everything we didn't like about that one Sonic CD boss, except way harder.
I didn't mind the CD boss. I minded this boss quite a bit, especially since, this is my own doing, but I accidentally stated right before dying, and so then I had to redo it. And I had gotten a fair way into it, but that's okay.
Well, I think this game also increases the number of hits the bosses take with each boss.
Possible. I didn't really pay attention.
Because the first one definitely does not take 8 hits, but later ones definitely do. I don't really have much to say about Panic Puppet. You have a big Eggman statue, and at the end you go in his nose.
Okay, yeah, you came up with that right out. But yeah, I thought that was cool because at first, well, you're like zooming through the tubes, and so you see it in the background. At first, I'm like, what the heck is that in the background? And then you go by the face, and I'm like, oh, that was a really cool moment, honestly.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting because it's much more obscured in the Genesis version, where you're not quite sure what you're looking at. In the Saturn version, it's clear from the start because it's just
Oh, really?
The more bits, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, well then that's a point for the Genesis version. No, I'm not keeping score. Also, Panic Puppet is when Robotnik decides to start using regular batteries instead of evil animal batteries. All the badniks don't have flickies in them. They're just kept in tubes, which I don't know what he's doing with them.
Maybe they're used as a power source for something else, but I don't know what that thing would be. It couldn't be the final boss because it's just a bigger boss. And then the second act has no flickies at all. It's just a linear level.
Right, exactly. That threw me through the loop. I was like, what? I have to not be super stressed out about not taking a single hit? Amazing. Well, I mean, it wasn't really that good of a stage, but...
Well, that's the thing, is that it has no flickies, but it takes that as carte blanche to just fill the level with badniks, and so you get hit a lot.
True, true. Oh, also, the conveyor belts in this level, for some reason, when you step on them, Sonic stops and just stands there. You can't move. He calmly takes it.
I'm kind of glad I didn't play this stage.
It wasn't that bad, but of course I would say that.
Yeah, well, and I have a dark secret to reveal, which is that I was trying to figure out. I tabbed out of the game to figure out how to beat the Panic Puppet boss, and then oops, the game closed. And when I came back, my save file was not there.
Okay, well,
and
you get to be quiet for the rest of the episode too. I don't think I get to.
At that moment, I said "fuck it," meaning that I think the only person to beat this game was Lauren.
Damn. All right.
Yep. Okay, well, I'm glad I'm not the only one who had to look up how to hurt the... Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, what are we doing here? You have to wait for him to, attack you. But the problem is, attack you with, the crushing hands. But you have to, stand under them, and they don't have a very huge range. So you have to bait it on purpose. and then you have to hit it like precisely on the side when it's
Yeah,
lower.
on,
It's
like, the
really
shoulder.
weird. It's not intuitive. The other phases work the same way though, so I was able to not look it up again. Yeah, so that's that, and then you save the day, and then Eggman has a really funny line. He says, "As long as I have this final weapon, I can conquer the world anytime. See you again, Sonic." And I'm like, it's a weird way to word it, because like you're saying I could conquer the world, but instead I'll wait for you to collect the Chaos Emeralds and stop me.
You know.
Voldemort waits till the end of the year to attack Harry. And yeah, I didn't fight the final boss. I haven't even looked up. Okay, so I have fought the final boss of this game in the past. I don't remember a thing about it, and I didn't want to get the Chaos Emeralds, and I just straight up forgot to look up a playthrough for this.
Oh, I at least looked at playthrough of Gene Gadget, so I knew what that stage looked like. I didn't realize there was a stage after it though.
Did you see the final boss, Lauren? I know you didn't.
No,
collect the emeralds.
I've given up doing
God
true
damn it.
endings to games. What?
This is now a thing that none of us have seen, which is
I thought you had
because like
seen it.
even when I flubbed it back in Sonic 2 8-bit and didn't see Crystal Egg Zone and only saw the boss, it's like at least then I still saw the ending.
Okay. I didn't know that was what I was supposed to do. I just didn't feel like bothering because I haven't felt like bothering with Chaos Emeralds for a long time now.
That's
Well,
gonna change in a minute.
obviously, we're all living proof that I can't make that a rule because even I'm not going to follow it.
I can at least give a slight little teensy grain of comment, which is I listened to the music for at least the real final boss in the Saturn version, which is interesting because it's just like a more intense sped up version, like remix sort of thing of the regular boss theme. So it's not all that different, but it's kind of neat actually.
No, I dig it. It's like this is like the less creepy version of the US Sonic CD boss music with the Eggman laughs in it.
Right, it has the laughter. I love that, honestly.
It's funny just watching, pre-Sonic Adventure attempts to figure out what this character's voice sounds like in the games.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sega Sonic has our back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have any real final judgments to make on 3D Blast other than it annoyed me, and there are probably ways it could have been made less annoying, but they didn't take those.
Well, my main problem is it's just not really fun. It's like you're just hunting through stages.
Yeah, it's busy work.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's busy work.
It's a scavenger hunt. If it were just isometric Sonic, it would honestly be a lot more enjoyable.
100%.
Well, we'll see how you feel about that once we get to Sonic Labyrinth. But
oh
okay.
no,
That's not isometric Sonic though, because it's still not normal gameplay.
Yeah. I mean like the ROM hack I found, which was literally just get rid of the flickies and get to the end of the stage.
Wow, we should have played that.
Yeah.
I was tempted to play through it like that, and I probably would have actually been able to finish it and sort of enjoy it.
Yeah, the bosses might have still given you some shit.
Fair.
But yeah, you still might have given up at that because that was the boss.
That's fair.
One random comment I have is I noticed didn't mess with it at all. I ain't got time for that. But apparently there's a level editor. What?
I meant
That's
to
part of the
mess around
director's
with
cut.
it.
And yeah, I didn't mess with
okay.
it either, but I think it's pretty rudimentary, but since the stages are so boxy as it is, it makes sense.
No,
Well,
I meant to check it
neat.
out.
Honestly, if I liked this game, that would be a really neat addition. Every game where applicable can benefit from a level editor, I think.
Yeah, so Sonic 3D Blast,
It's a game.
It's not the worst thing ever, but I wouldn't really recommend it. I would recommend both versions of the soundtrack, though. They're both great.
Yeah, definitely listen to the music.
100%. Yes, the music is awesome.
Yeah, I can agree with that sentiment.
And from this game with a great soundtrack, we go to a game with an interesting soundtrack in the form of Sonic R.
Oh, I really enjoyed Sonic R's soundtrack.
Oh, I love this soundtrack.
I had so much fun with that soundtrack because it's so like, is corny the right word?
Yeah, you can call it corny.
Like in a good way. Like it's so much fun to listen to.
Yeah,
I have no shame in saying that I unironically enjoy all the music in this game.
Yeah, no, I can totally agree with that.
No, it's not bad. It is a little cheesy, but yeah. So it's still Richard Jacques, same as the Saturn version of 3D Blast, but with T.J. Davis on vocals, and she's good. Like she's a good singer.
Very good.
These are just very funny songs.
Yeah, no, they're funny songs, but like not in a bad way.
No, I enjoy it.
They're very fun, kind of silly. I don't know what genre they were. Are they jazz?
Kind of jazzy.
They remind me of city pop, the Japanese kind of pop jazz genre that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
All I can say is the music just makes me happy. It's just so upbeat, and
it
enhances the game completely. I don't know how much I would like this game without the music.
It is
honestly,
It is a very earnest soundtrack, and I think that it fits this game, which is earnest, and it's like that's what keeps me going for a lot of it, because it's not a non-functional game. It's just not a lot.
Oh, there's not a whole lot of game there, but I want to be clear with something real quick. I was drinking while I was playing this game, so this might be the gin talking, but I really enjoyed Sonic R.
I really enjoyed it too, but I don't know if I was listening to the soundtrack while playing it, so maybe it's the soundtrack talking, but I really enjoyed the game too.
I think that might have been the case for me as well. The deal
with this game is that it's easy to appreciate what this game kind of represents and what it means to a lot of people, because we have an on-foot racing Sonic game, and that's what fans have been wanting a return to for so long. I think that a lot of people who like this game don't necessarily love this game for what it is, but the fact that we never got another game like it. And it makes sense to do something like that, because a 3D Sonic, like a Sonic Adventure racing game, I would love that.
Well, it's on foot for everyone but Amy, because she, for some reason, has a car.
Well,
okay, that part pisses me off.
Despite the fact that he can outrun Sonic in the classic games.
That is true.
Eggman using a machine to go fast, that makes sense to me, because he would just do that even if he could run as fast as Sonic. The fact that they confine Amy to a car kind of pisses me off. It's like, the girls can't run as fast as we can. It's like, fuck off.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that was a trait of Amy's for a while. Sonic Adventure is the same way. But, no, you're right, it is. I thought it was kind of weird. I was like, that's kind of like a little pathetic. But it's an on-foot racer, and I so much appreciate that. I'm sure that the Sonic All-Star Racing games, I'm sure they're fine enough, but no, Sonic in a car, it's wrong. It's just wrong. You cannot convince me otherwise.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, I think that on principle it makes a lot of sense, and as for the game, it's fine. You've got a whopping 5 tracks.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted more. This game left me wanting, which actually, that's a good thing, I guess.
Well, to me, at least, that means I'm more likely to go back and play it again.
Oh yeah, no, this game, like, I had to just be like, okay, I can't sink too much time into this, but I kind of wanted to, even though I'd already done a lot with it.
No, I did several playthroughs of this game, actually, because it gives you only 5 tracks, but it gives you quite a number of playable characters if you go out of your way to unlock them all.
Even base, you've got, all the mainstays.
Yeah, you've got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Eggman. You have to beat a full Grand Prix to unlock him.
Which isn't too hard at all.
Yeah,
well,
but then
I don't know. I played easy mode, so...
Yeah. You've got medals scattered around the levels, and you got to collect each of those and win the race in order to challenge a new unlockable character. And that's where all your medal guys are, all your alternates.
And guess who didn't actually
do that? Most of them are metal. One of them is Plush and Notorious.
Ah, yes.
This is the game with the Tails doll in it, or Puppet Tails or something. This is a character that I don't think ever has an explicit name from Sega, because this game has so little text in it. Because it's not like you have the names of the characters on the character select screen, but yes, the Tails doll is a thing that is not scary, is what I've come to understand.
No,
it's not. Made it scary. It is not scary at all in this game.
No, it really isn't. But I don't understand why it was made into a creepypasta thing.
just the internet. You can't explain
It's because puppets and
guess,
dolls are things that people, horror likes to take from. And I
That's
had a
true.
very interesting experience back in middle school where I legitimately had nightmares about this thing for a period of time.
Yeah, so did I.
It is thanks to
Really?
you that.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I think Devin told me about it, and I read the creepypasta or something.
Did I
Or maybe
fuck with
YouTubers?
both of you at this point?
Okay, I wasn't about to say I had the same experience. I was going to say it was because of you, Devin, that I knew this character so well, despite the fact there's nothing to them. And so it stuck out to me in this game. No, I never saw it as anything other than complete nonsense.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel a little better, but it is absolutely hilarious that I induced that in you, Bruce. I had no idea. I mean, I'm sorry, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think it lasted very long, but it's still funny that you fucked with my head that badly.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the tone of the creepypasta is diametrically opposed to this game's tone.
Yeah.
It's just so happy and cheerful. There's also, this isn't related to that, but I'm just looking at my notes. You know, sometimes it's sunny and happy, sometimes it's snowy and happy, sometimes it's still happy when it's rainy. I don't know how, it just is.
Yeah, this game has weather settings for the levels, and they do affect your playstyle. You get less traction in the rain, and if it's snowy, then the water's all frozen over.
It's neat.
I do think that it's like this game is closer to some of the surrealist locales that we've talked about in the classic games, because when you're in like Radical City and Regal Ruin and Reactive Factory, which all the levels start with R, by the way, which is very funny. It's like there's something about it. I think it's the fact that the water texture is part of the background like skybox.
Okay, the water looked so weird. Like I know what they were going for, but
it always looks like you're peeking into the sky.
The effect did not come off correctly.
Yeah.
Which is tough, because I think that outside of that, I really love the way this game looks. I love the low poly, just weird, surrealist PS1 aesthetic with dynamic colored lighting.
Yes, I love that so much.
I'm surprised, compare this to like Sonic Blast or 3D Blast. I'm surprised that even at this point, they can get, a good sort of stylized 3D that doesn't look like stupid. It just looks like charming.
Yeah.
It's like, at a certain point, I think that for certain types of games, you don't even need to push the graphics further than this, like, amount of fidelity.
Yeah. I mean...
Like, I need modern resolutions, but...
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I love the low-poly PS1 Saturn look. Anything that does that look is automatically at least more interesting to me.
I'd take a few more polys for Sonic's face, maybe. His quills are completely straight in this game.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
I don't really have a problem with it, but yeah, you're probably right.
It is kind of charming. Same thing with just Knuckles' entire head. He looks like he's got got really wispy hair, and everything else is just bald.
Well, it's because you expect there to be more of his dreads on the lower part of the back of his head. It's interesting you bring up the character designs, because I don't think he was just the character designer, but this game and 3D Blast for the Saturn is really where we started to see more of Yuji Uekawa as an artist for the series. And of course, with Sonic Adventure, he'll become the main character designer for the franchise. So we're sort of seeing the end of Naoto Oshima from the classic games, and we're seeing a transformation of style, which is why on the title screen, the box art of this game, Sonic doesn't really look like classic Sonic.
Yeah, he looks a bit more like modern.
The artwork of Knuckles in this game produced one of my favorite internet memes that I've ever seen of all time. Is Knuckles running with like the Resort Island rainbow in the background, and it says, "Sure, buddy, feminism is the reason you can't get laid."
All right.
That has nothing to do with the game, but
So, this is just a personal bias, but I've said it before, this is why I really liked Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I absolutely love when there's bonus content to come back and sort of look at and, get a little more out of the game if you want it, optionally. Yeah. And when it's done right and in a non-frustrating way. It was a joy to collect the Chaos Emeralds in this game. honestly.
Yeah, they're just
Not
hidden in the
painful at
stages.
all. They're just hidden in the stages if you want to try and go and find them. They're a little tricky, some of them, but not too bad. And yeah, and you get Supersonic. And okay, I must confess, Supersonic's a little too OP in this game.
He is very, very fast.
Like, why is he just permanently super? There are rings in the stages. Use the mechanic. But no, they didn't. You're just supersonic forever when you choose him, and no one can stop you. That's okay. I really appreciate. So it's just in Radiant Emerald. I wish I did it in every stage, but at least they did it in that one. If you're playing as Supersonic instead of playing the regular music, it replaces it with Supersonic Racing. So you're
Best
racing
track in
with
the game.
Supersonic. So he's even got a super theme that isn't like 30 seconds long and is glorious. I hate the super theme in like the classic games, by the way.
Yeah, I agree, and I love Supersonic Racing. That is one of my favorite songs in the series, actually.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
I guess this is the start of big lyrical themes in the games too, if you think about it that way.
Yeah.
True.
The tracks themselves are kind of weird to navigate.
Okay, yeah, so it threw me off at first. I have been raised by Mario Kart, and those courses just guide you very clearly. These courses are not quite the same. You have to actually think and pay attention. There's not just one way to go. You can easily run off course because there are secrets in the courses, and sometimes it's just designed that way. I don't know. So it's a little confusing at first, but once I realized you can't just barrel forward and think you're going to be guided along, you have to pay attention, then it's not too bad. It's kind of
there are a lot of shortcuts and off the path little things to find, and there's a lot of hard angles too, which is why that's what throws me off about the drifting mechanic, is that the drift is just a more intense turn. It is not a way to boost your speed like in Mario Kart, which is probably the reason that this game has 2 drift buttons, one for each direction.
Yeah.
You get used to it, but man is it disorienting after so long of just hold R to drift. I guess this game also has 2 accelerate buttons, since you can hold the accelerate button or you can hold up on the control stick.
Oh, I didn't have to hold down the accelerate button the entire time?
Well, it's better to do that because I feel way more wobbly when I'm doing the control stick style.
Of course.
And did you guys play as any characters other than Sonic for your playthrough? Or like for your first?
Supersonic.
I did Sonic as my first, and then I think I did just the first race as Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. I didn't actually bother unlocking anyone else.
No, I didn't actually play as any of the other characters.
It's alright. I think Sonic is the best character anyway, because A, he's got a double jump, a really good double jump, and B, he's the fastest. Knuckles does have way better traction. Like, he is way better at making sharp turns without even drifting. I think most of the other characters are kind of a waste, though, to be honest. Like, Tails is alright, but, like, Amy, like, her car has, like, a speed boost, which is nice, but she also can't jump. So,
oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, which really limits your ability to skip over parts. But it also just drives on top of water, inexplicably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a hover car or something.
Which makes me think, why didn't you use this in Sonic Adventure? It'd be easy to get away from E100 Zero there.
Yes, you can drive that car through like every bit of uneven terrain.
Eggman and Egg Robo, I believe, both have missiles that they can shoot at you.
I really like that. I was like, that is on brand for Eggman to be playing dirty and shooting at you during the race.
But it also, again, sacrifices the jump button for that. And the metal characters just kind of suck, I think I've discovered. I'm not really sure what's supposed to be appealing about them, because I don't think that they're faster or have better traction than the other characters, but they don't have abilities. Like, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, they can all spin dash if you hold down and press the accelerate button, which I didn't use that much, but it was neat that you could do it. But the metal characters can't do that, and, like, I don't think that they have any unique actions. Like, Metal Sonic can't hover or double jump or anything. Metal Knuckles might be able to do something, I can't quite remember. And Tails Doll, he has, like, a really weak jump and then a really weird, like, descending hover thing. I just don't get why you'd want to play as him, other than because Metal Sonic and Metal Knuckles are cool.
That's a darn shame. I assumed they were just upgrade, like straight upgrades of their regular versions, because as you unlock them, the NPC racers are replaced with the metal versions.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, and they do different things with the AI. Like, I think it's Metal Knuckles will just always take the fastest route possible through different shortcuts, which is a neat thing.
Okay, yeah. Well, like I said, I only played as Sonic, so I really only looked at the other racers as opponents anyway.
Well, and there's not a ton of substance to the game beyond that. It's like, it doesn't even really have very many items. It's like, you've got Ring Attraction, and you've got Water Shield, and that's it.
Yeah.
I did mess around with some of the other time attack modes, because you've got Mirror Mode, and you've got Tag Mode, and you've got Finding Balloons, but that's it. It's exactly what all of those things sound like.
Hmm.
It's like how Mario Kart DS had like a mission mode, and a lot of those were really, really, really frustrating, but I think that this game could have used something like that.
Honestly, yeah, it could have used more reason for me to keep playing on the one sitting that I played on.
I have to imagine that resources were stretched a little thin for this one.
Probably.
That might be an explanation, yeah.
Which is a shame. It's a shame if it's true, because if it wasn't, it could have been so much more.
Yeah, I think that's a good summation of the game, is that there's potential here, but I want more.
Exactly. I want more to sink my teeth into.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Hey guys, Devin here in post, just asking you to check out the Sonic R mod loader and Sonic R improvement mod, which we used for this playthrough, and I just forgot to mention, but I wanted to bring it up. Alright then, well, speaking of, I wish there was more substance to this, when I put Sonic Jam on the list, it's because I thought that there was going to be more to do in Sonic World. I was wrong.
Yeah, I think I finished Sonic World in like 15 minutes.
So Sonic Jam was a compilation of the Genesis Sonic 2D platformers for the Saturn, and it was, I thought that it was worth putting on here because it has notoriety, because, a lot of the work that went into developing Sonic World, was made for a Saturn version of what eventually became Sonic Adventure. And so I thought, we'll play through the Sonic World challenges. But there's all of 3 challenges, and you just collect rings. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I was able to sit with this for a good while. The missions are really they start out pointless, and they get really frustrating later on. And they don't call the checkpoints, they call them red points, and that's weird. But we don't need to include that. But then again, I guess you didn't go in any of the buildings or stuff.
Oh, I did actually.
I did as well, yeah.
I do like the buildings because they do have unlockable, or not unlockable, they're already unlocked, but they have galleries, basically, of promotional art and concept art, which is where we have a lot of the modern, like, character profiles and a lot of the popular classic Sonic art.
Okay.
Oh, I have to mention, because this is in the runaround world bit.
Yeah.
Before I forget, the music used in it is this. There's a different. I think it's a slightly different mix. Is used in Sonic Classic Collection on the DS too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a throwback for me again.
Oh.
So much musical throwback in this.
So that's
episode.
a collection invoking nostalgia for a different collection.
Yep.
It makes me wonder. I hope in Sonic Origins we get to hear some of the music from like the Sonic Mega Collection. But as a little tech demo for 3D Sonic, it's not like I hate Sonic World.
No, it's just kind of nothing.
Yeah,
Well,
my main gripes with it are you can't control you can turn the camera, but you can't control the angle.
Oh yeah.
Which makes it very annoying because sometimes it's just like straight down, and it's like I want to see the lush 32-bit environment here.
Yes, that was so annoying.
It also doesn't have any kind of analog control because it was before the analog pad was released for the Saturn.
Was it?
Well, you told me it was when I was playing it.
I was just guessing.
Oh, well, if you're guessing, then say it might have been this instead of it was this, because you definitely said it was that.
I thought I did say it might be.
It's... whatever.
Also, Devin, what the fuck are you talking about? I had analog control.
You did?
Yeah. Also, Nights into Dreams came out a year before it.
Okay, then I guess I am just bad at emulators because I tried to set it up 2 different times and it didn't work.
I don't know. I used the one that you posted.
Same here.
Wow.
Anyway,
I enjoyed what little there was. I like that you can jump on and grab on and fly around with Tails.
Oh yeah, that is adorable. Tails
Wait.
is just adorable.
I say my favorite building in Sonic World is the one that covers the series history, like up to the point that the game was released, because it includes so much stuff that I didn't think that they would acknowledge. Like it covers the
is pretty cool.
cartoons. It has the Pico games in there.
Gotta acknowledge their existence.
It has some
Someone
brain
has
deals.
Ooh, I didn't look into all of it. That's kind of interesting.
It even has a screenshot or two of the OVA, which I for some reason thought didn't come out overseas until 1999, but I'm wrong. It totally did.
I didn't really pay much attention to that, but I did have a good few laughs at the character profiles. I'll start with the biggest zinger. Knuckles' weakness is girls.
It is?
That's what it says.
Oh, I didn't read that part. That's hilarious.
It says in parentheses he's like not sociable or something. That's the reason.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's an
that makes
antisocial teenager.
He grew up alone. What can you say?
I mean, fair.
That's hilarious though, and obviously not canon for the rest of the series.
Well, technically, it doesn't say why he's weak to women. It could just be that they're especially good at, like, beating the crap out of him. Maybe that's why they designed Rouge.
Oh my gosh, it is canon, you're right!
It's not about romantic weakness, he's just bad at fighting them.
Damn, we just keep coming up with more lore.
It's true.
Sega, hire us.
A few other little tidbits. It says that Eggman has an IQ of 300. I think that's what his IQ is. Yeah. But that he still acts like a child regardless of his IQ. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Psychopathic man-child. Gotta love it.
It says Sonic dislikes the word slow, but not like actual slowness. That's not what it says, but it just says specifically the word slow. So I'm like, that's weird. Like, it's just the language, or I don't know.
He just has a problem with it.
It's like how some people dislike hearing the word moist. He just hates hearing it.
Yep. Guess so. Interesting thing though. So remember when we played Tails Adventure and we realized that Tails is an absolute menace, a real force to be reckoned with. His character profile goes in line with that. It says Tails' weakness ?
Oh,
yes, he has no weaknesses.
He's so strong, no one's figured it out.
That's right.
Jutsu, my stand, has no weakness.
Another thing about Tails that really bugs me, he's called Miles throughout the entire collection. I don't know why.
Oh, that's.
I mean, it is his name.
Well,
I know that's his name.
The Japanese versions generally acknowledge him as Miles first.
Really?
Oh,
I think I want to say that it's only with Sonic Adventure that the Japanese version had him start being referred to as Tails sometimes, and I think that's even still mostly by Sonic. But like Japanese Sonic 2, he's only ever called Miles, if I remember correctly.
That is funny. Not to cut ahead too much to Adventures of Sonic, but it's interesting because in that continuity, he hates that name. So there's a big difference between
it would make sense for
Sonic
version. To refer to him as Tails, being, at least according to Adventures, Sonic's the one that gave him that name.
Yeah, well, we're not going to dead name him anymore. My favorite artwork in the artwork gallery is the one where Sonic is inside reading and Tails is just left out in the snow looking at him through the window.
Odd.
It's a very cute little piece of artwork, but everybody reads the subtext of like, Sonic locked Tails out of his house to die in the snow.
Damn, why?
Sonic is unnecessarily cruel to Tails in certain bits of media. I don't know why. It's a thing that happens every now and then.
Oh, I can't wait for the British comics.
Well, that's a little more than every now and then, but yes.
Pixel Brain.
Oh boy.
Pixel Brain?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Sonic's nickname for Tails in the British comics. He is a
already then.
For some reason, I felt obligated to try to explore this as fully as possible. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna collect the rings. It looks like there's 100 rings. So I collected all 100 rings, and nothing happened.
So there were 100 rings.
It was disappointing.
They should have given you an extra life.
It should have.
You can't do anything with.
Yeah.
I do like that there's monitors around that have the cheat codes for the Genesis games on them.
I really like that. I thought if I had this collection as a kid, that would have been the raddest thing.
That would have been pretty cool, yeah.
Finally, I can
I-
beat Sonic 2.
True.
You know, I meant to actually go and check out the Genesis games, and then I forgot. I think I got done playing Sonic World, and I was like, "Damn, that was absolutely nothing." I don't really feel like I can do this anymore.
The port job is perfectly acceptable, but it's
I've
nothing
heard.
that we in the modern age are unfamiliar with.
That's basically what I've heard.
Makes sense.
The last thing to check out in Sonic World is the movie house,
Here
which
we
is
go.
very funny
yes.
because it says like Sonic the Hedgehog movie cool or something on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, which of course is funny here when we've just had a second Sonic the Hedgehog theatrical film come out. But in this case, the movie house is to just watch, like, I think there's some commercials, and there's, like, promotional animation, and there's the Sonic CD cutscenes.
There are 2 little shorts as well, and there's an ad specifically. I mean, I guess this covers it, but because you said like commercials and stuff, but for the Sonic movie as well, it's worth noting.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch that one.
I didn't either.
Oh, actually, I wrote in my notes that there's a trailer for the OVA in here, so I don't know.
Oh, I guess you at least saw it was
But
there.
yeah, there's a CG animation that's called Sonic the Hedgehog Ride, and I saw this thing a long time ago, and I don't think we had it anywhere before this game. I don't remember specifically, but
no,
it's got some nice 90s CG.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
That was interesting. For some reason, it focuses a lot more on the background than Sonic, which is a little strange. It's more like, look at these environments. Let's just do like a roller coaster through. And then the ending is the same as the ending of every episode of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Eggman gets crushed by his own crusher.
It's got like a tech demo feel for our 1990s like Intel cards or something. But the thing that I wanted to highlight was the original animated short that was, I think, just made for this game, that is known among fans as Man of the Year. And I wanted to highlight it both because it's really nicely animated, for one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's got a great, like a late 90s Saturday morning cartoon. I'm trying to think, I guess it's almost got kind of an Animaniacs feel to the animation.
That was done on purpose.
Do you have some source on that?
The animation company TMS was co-animated those 2 shows with Warner Brothers.
Okay, well that actually does explain a lot, and TMS of course would continue working with Sega for a long time, and they eventually did Sonic X.
Huh.
As for the short itself, it's about Eggman being jealous that everybody loves Sonic, so he dresses up as Sonic and just wreaks havoc with rocket shoes.
But why did people think that Robotnik was Sonic?
Listen, if something is blue and going really, really fast, there's only so many things that you can assume it could be.
Fair.
You know, it's funny that you're questioning something like that, Bruce. You must have not watched very much of Adventures yet. I am completely numbed to the idea of animated characters having any ounce of intelligence at this point. So I didn't even question it.
Fair, yeah.
And it's a good segue to Adventures of Sonic, because this short also uses In the Hall of the Mountain King as a motif.
Right.
Did Sonic just have like a boner for that specific piece of music at this time? It's in both this and Adventures all over the place.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about that, but that is another parallel. Yeah, the start is really funny. Eggman is very expressive. I was like, what is it a robot? And they were like, no, it's just Eggman, like jumping around really athletically in a costume. It's not it's not what I expected him to do. So it was pretty funny.
Yeah, apparently.
I really like. It starts with In the Hall of the Mountain King, but then it switches to Metallic Madness as Eggman ruins the day.
Yeah. Well, and it's the Japanese version, at least in the one I saw. I don't know if they changed it in the American Saturn release.
I think it's the same.
Man, why didn't they re-release Sonic CD for the Saturn? That would have made more sense than 3D Blast.
Yeah.
Because nobody bought the Mega CD. Anyway, this short is also significant in that, you know, we're saying it'll be a nice transition in that it's a nice transition into Adventures of Sonic, which we're starting in 2 weeks. Because it's an animated, goofy short with Hall of the Mountain King. But it's also a nice transition into anyone who skips, past our animated content and just wants to hear about the games, because it's also the first material that shows Sonic living in a world with humans.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and Well, luckily in this game they don't try to make the humans look too realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Sonic seems to have a struggle doing humans aside from Robotnik for some reason.
Well, it's because they always have a different character designer do the humans than Oshima or Uekawa. You know, because Balan Wonderworld, that game that Naka made that kind of flopped, you know, a year or two ago, but Oshima did a bunch of human designs for that game, and they fit in, I think, perfectly with, like, Sonic Adventure 1 Sonic. They're just kind of weird and lanky, but they feel more like humans that Eggman would be related to than any other humans in Sonic series. The same goes for Billy Hatcher, which, you know, has at least humanoid main characters, but the Uekawa did the designs for, and they fit in with Sonic perfectly. So both of the character designers for Sonic have done human designs outside of the Sonic series that are way better than the humans in the Sonic series. So I don't know.
That's interesting.
And the last thing that I want to talk about with this short is that Sonic does not save the day. He does not clear his name. Eggman gets everyone mad at him, and then the short ends with "to be continued," and there's never a part 2 to this.
Well,
which
did
means
they intend there to be one?
Here's what I think. This is my galaxy brain canon argument.
Oh boy.
Good. I relish these.
All right.
The start of SA1, the databooks surrounding SA1, all kind of agree that in Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic is returning to Station Square and the area around it after some kind of trip. So we can say that the city in this short is Station Square. Sonic is returning there because after Eggman did this, he got Sonic #canceled. So Sonic briefly retired from public life after a tearful racist Twitter rant, and finally returns in Adventure 1 to prove that he could be back on top after, like, going to rehab.
God damn, alright.
Oh my gosh.
That was just...
Yes.
You know what? Yeah, let's go for it.
And on that frightening vision for the future, we, I think, are done for tonight. Next week is going to be every painful thing about this week times 10. When...
Hopefully.
When we conceived of this podcast back in February, we were looking at our list of Sonic games, and we knew that there were going to be some that were going to be awful, and we said, let's take all of the Sonic games that we know are going to be the most hilariously incompetent and put them all in one episode. And before I recorded my notes for those games, because I have finished recording notes for the classic series, I thought that maybe we had made a mistake there, because we didn't like a lot of the Game Gear games, and, you know, here we haven't liked 3D Blast and friggin' Spinball. And having now played them, I can say we did not make a mistake. Some of these things are fucking horrible. They are disgusting.
Oh boy.
Next week, we are going to be talking about Sonic Labyrinth, and Sonic Schoolhouse, and Sonic's Game World, and Sonic Jam for the Tiger Gamecom.
God help us all.
I wish you all good luck, and I hope you survive. Have a nice night, and see you next week.